Welcome to Albion TV presents the AO Daily Show, your source of real news in an unreal world, keeping you up to date on the latest news, events, and the great community of Albion Online. Today is Tuesday, the 25th of January, 2022. I am your host, the Shozen One, and joining me today as co-host, the only one who can, yes, it's Bogul.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. How are we?
I'm doing quite well today. How are you?
Busy. I would say busy. Yeah, there's lots of things to do in the world of Albion and outside. So I'd phrase it like that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I did watch the war report earlier. We were running around the world looking at all the action that was occurring, and it was pretty much nonstop around 18 UTC, which gets us to our very first topic of the day, Bulum. Last
18
weekend's,
UTC.
well, the invasion day from this past
Oh,
weekend.
okay, yeah, sure. I was like, wait, 18 UTC. That doesn't ring any bells. War report. Maybe fighting works. Fighting works. Yes, the
Well, the
weekend had
18
lots of fighting.
UTC is also when the EU invasion happens, Bogle.
Right. It was the last set of invasions this weekend. EU, NA, reset day 3. Yeah. You witnessed both of them.
Yes, I did. And that EU one was one of the top reset days I have seen in a very, very long time. And then the NA came out. It started slow, but boy, did it pick up to also impress. And we had a great invasion day overall with action everywhere in the world, and players were very, very entertained, either in game or on AOTV.
Nice. I think Robin Hood RS already put these up on the YouTube, right? Let me
Yes,
link
he has.
these
They
in
are
the Twitch
already
chat.
there.
There's one, that's the EU, and there's two, that's the NA. You guys can watch these later if you missed them live. They're also here on the VODs on Twitch, of course, with all the goodness, live and then, or not live, VOD and in color.
It's a VOD, yeah.
Yeah.
It's already passed, but it was good content. And if you want to see what happened over the weekend, who came out ahead, definitely go back and check that out. It's been great to see how just active the invasion days have been since the lands awakened, and the absolute just fire that has engulfed the outlands since the introduction of that content update. It's been wild every day with action, but the invasion days have hit a different level, Bogle. They are on fire.
Good.
Scalding hot.
Yeah, I shall watch that maybe tonight before I fall asleep. If I can fall asleep after all that action, that is. Yeah, that's the recommendation number 1 that we have. We do have a few more recommendations for your watching schedule, I suppose. Maybe something to do while you're grinding something, because we do have, I think, 2 video tips today. We do have a little bit of a mini discussion point on some Reddit. We do also have a little bit of fan art, and I think I just saw it. We may also have a raffle today, Shozen.
Yeah, I do have a raffle going on. We have a couple extra raffles to give away today. We will be giving those over the next 2 shows, as we do have Tazik returning for 5v5s after this show at 20 UTC. We'll be watching 2 rounds of that and giving away quite a few raffles today. So do stick around for that. We'll be giving away a raffle shortly. Bogle, we were talking about the content updates and how effective they've been. There is a big update coming out soon. This week, I would say. It has
This
arrived.
week, you would say?
I would say it was this week. That's where I'm putting my money. If I was to say this is your lock of the week, like, how the bettors have, like, this is your Jimmy G's lock of the week. I'm taking New York over Philadelphia by 3. I'm going to be taking Match Day.
Is that a 1950s game show?
This week? No, it's American betting. They just constantly have betting now that it's legal for sports.
Oh,
They basically do it. You'll be watching, say, football, for example, and then there'll be an advertisement to spend all your money on at least 3 different online gambling sites that will take bets on anything at this point. Like, will Joe Biden cough during his press release? Odds are 400 to 1.
God.
Like literally taking it on everything now. It's
I
pretty wild. American
I
betting
guess
has
the only
gotten
betting in Albion we
insane.
have is for duels, right? But
Yeah,
that's
pretty
only
much.
on your own.
Is that really a
success.
bet, or
I
is that a
mean,
wait? That's just like
it's maybe artificially increasing your value of. I don't know if that's a bet.
it's a little weird. I mean, I guess betting on yourself in Albion is the only betting you can do. But
Yes.
after seeing how crazy it's gotten around here, yeah.
Well,
less
Albion
betting
is, I
good.
think, situated in
Less
Germany,
betting is
so
good.
that's different, anyways.
Yeah,
But online games and betting
job
shows,
having
that's
stricter
gray
laws.
waters,
Good job.
anyways. I think we should row and steer away from that shore and
Okay.
go back to the open sea of Albion patch 4.
Well, I was gonna say patch 4 is out on the test server. It's gonna be I'm expecting it this week. That's where I'm putting my money. We have seen some interesting updates over the last month about what's going to be included in that, and we have gone over a number of those changes in depth over the last 2 weeks as we've been previewing this patch for some time. We've been expecting it. There's a lot of balance changes affecting every aspect of Albion as some fundamental tweaks are being made to the way that damage is dealt and sustained in Albion. We're seeing changes to focus fire, we're seeing changes to AoE escalation, and most importantly, DC reduction is getting a big look at diminishing returns, Bogul, going from 0.05 and 0.1 in some cases, all the way up to 0.3, which is going from a 5% to 10% reduction to a 30% reduction, meaning that's going to cap out in 3 hits rather than 10.
About time.
Yeah.
About time to show Maces some love and maybe hopefully swap out some of the ZVZ or general combat meta in the world of Albion. It might, hopefully, if everything goes according to what I read in the description of some of these changes, it might make the life of the smaller groups versus the big guys a little bit better overall. The way you can get locked down and the way you can defend yourselves. I think going out with a bigger bang, at least, if it's really hopeless, is going to be a fun thing, but also not suffering as much CC lockdown on that side as well. But yeah, we'll have to see how that actually plays out. Hopefully during the first war report, we'll of course have here on the show as well. That's always the coolest thing, when you have a new patch and then you get to see all these changes live, how they affect the large groups and how they plan or prepare for these. And sometimes we see a whole different comp that's brought to the ZVZ.
All right. I agree. I think we're going to see some interesting changes come forward, but I think it'll take time, Bogle. I don't think we're going to see the changes to comps hit on day one. I think it'll be a progressive change with some of the more
what I hope for.
Experimental
I always hope
guilds
for
going
everybody gets shreked immediately and then go, what the hell? Let's change something.
Well, I think it's going to initially, I think we're going to have more back and forth battles. I don't think that it's going to be a situation that quickly turns into mass claps. I think the changes to CC specifically are going to give people a little bit more freedom to escape. The other changes seem to counteract each other. They're designed to balance things out and deal with some extreme edge cases while making the average gameplay experience feel pretty much the same. It's not intended to be a dramatic change anywhere else than probably the CC. Well, that's intended to be the dramatic change going forward. But Bogle,
Yeah.
We have gotten additional information on this patch because for a while, players have been waiting for a part of the Lands Awaken to finally arrive. We've been expecting a map overlay uh, regarding activity, or I should say, like how much PVE and how much gathering is available for players in the zones. We were expecting an overlay that would show that in some way for quite some time now. I believe that SBI gave an update on that.
Yeah, initially with the release of Lands Awakened, the statement was made that the update numbers have to come in, or the the values to how do you have so basically you have to leave the system running for about a week to make sure that the values displayed are useful, right? And then turns out that that didn't quite work, so it was delayed, and then over Christmas all of that stuff came together, and now Shozen, sadly, it's not going to make it in with patch 4. We're sorry, but we had to delay the release of the feature again. We still need to collect some more data before it can actually go live. It is planned to go live with one of the upcoming patches, but not patch 4. Thank you for your patience. That is the cluster value map overlay.
Oh, we have a request, Bogul.
Sure.
In chat. People would like us to make sure that we pay the bills and show off the new mount that's coming. So I think what they want to see is the Shadow Cat.
No, that's not coming, Shozen. That's already out.
It's already here. Yeah, I know. But
we need to pay the bills. Oh, that.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. The ad. Just get the ad over with.
Guys,
if we want to talk about upcoming,
cool mount on screen. Amazing. That's how ads work, right? Wait, buy.
I like the Shadow Cat because it reminds me of old school Kitty Pryde, which nobody gets because you guys didn't read X-Men comics in the 90s. Don't worry, she'll come out in the movies in the MCU. She leads the X-Men now. She's like a teacher. She goes through walls. I don't know why they call her Shadow Cat. None of that made any sense. She also has a pet dragon. It's like
not
alien.
A cat.
No, it's an alien dragon. It's like the size of a cat.
Not everybody had access to Marvel comics or.
Yeah, I've learned
comics
that.
In general.
Unfortunate. It's a problem when they are just a piece of paper that's kind of sent around. Now, with everything being digital, I imagine everybody has a bit more access. So that's cool. I like that access. Speaking of access, Bogul, when are we going to get access to the new mount that we don't know where it came from, what it is, or why it's here? It just seems like a massive troll joke.
I mean, we were looking at the test server, right? And you guys can do that as well. It is still up. You guys can check out the changes on the test server. But while spelunking around on the test server, we found this on the marketplace, which is a Jester Horse riding skin.
You gotta show the video. You gotta show the video because it's just.
I mean, if you take a screenshot, right, that's kind of awkward already.
Yeah, it's a little weird. It's okay.
It's the tail is.
Is it?
funky.
Does it have hay in its mouth?
No.
What is that sticking out of its mouth, Bogul?
I think that's like it's chewing on something. Yeah.
It's hay. Yeah, it's chewing on hay. And pause it when it comes around to the front. Oh my God, that thing, Bogul. That thing is so doofy. Freaking need it. For those who know me, I only ride horses because I usually use the pony skin.
Mm-hmm.
But this, I'd do that. I'd pay for that. At first, when I saw this Bogul, I hated it. I'll be honest. I was like, this is dumb.
I mean, there's
Now,
a fitting costume as well. Again.
I'm just waiting for it to arrive so I can get it.
Didn't work. Yeah.
This is the first one since the white unicorn that I've been like, I need this. This thing is a referral mount.
It shouldn't be a referral mount because it doesn't have a
green saddle. Yeah.
Now,
Interestingly enough, the Shadow Cat does.
yeah, Shozen, that makes me concerned.
Mm-hmm. Did
I
somebody screw up the order?
I hope the art team didn't say let's release the referral mount and make the shadow and then make the if this is a referral mount, I need to think about how I invest into gold.
How's that going, by the way? Why don't we bring up the gold prices right now? And don't confuse everybody by bringing up Bitcoin again. That was rude. Bring up the actual gold coin.
Down only. It's actually been.
It looks just like Bitcoin right now.
Recovering a little
It's
bit.
going up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean we
Is
have
Albion Gold attached to Bitcoin? What the hell's going on here?
I hope not. I hope
Oh, well,
not.
show the image you sent me yesterday of Bitcoin. I mean, like
No. Point being that it had this super long downturn, right, from 3K, 3.1K even, all the way down to the little of 2.9. And then somebody apparently market bought like 5 billion silver worth of gold.
Same thing happened in Bitcoin.
No. And then
Yes,
it actually spiked
Venezuela.
to, I believe, 3 point something K. So 3.13 or something.
Yep.
Something ridiculous. And now it's trending back down. But this post-release, big day kind of goal development is always very interesting to me. Because on the one hand, you see that, with large patches, a lot of people come into the game or come back and they potentially have some gold, or they buy some gold when they come back. And then it's usually goes down a little bit. But then the recovery period or the flattening time is always super interesting, especially if you're like a speculator, like some people like to do here in Albion.
All right. Well, interesting. I think it's time for us now to move into the meat of the show. Now that we've talked about the mounts and how Albion makes the monies, let's move over to
Cocos Milk's 25-minute video that we just play in its entirety.
What?
We'll play a 25-minute YouTube video now, Shozen. As one of the Albion creators.
Let's go. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. And enjoy this video from Cocos. No, we're not going to do that.
I mean, it's a community video, right? Cocos Milk is, by the way, coconut milk is what that means. Is one of the Albion Online creators, and he regularly does meme videos. And he produced a New Year special meme video that literally is 25 minutes long, but I need to play this with sound. At least the intro.
All right, I have to turn up the audio here because I haven't heard this yet. All right, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is really, really good. Now I have to watch the whole video. She's got me hooked with the beginning here. Now I need to watch the whole thing because I want to know who uses cat farts in their videos. I need to learn. This is amazing.
Look at what he does.
It's actually not the cat did it, I guess. The cat was like, "Hey, what's going on? Oh God, you did that. I'm out."
Look at what he's doing. He's respecking away from healer.
Why?
Because he wanted to spec into something else.
Is this the right way to do this?
He apparently lost 90 mil. Yeah, and then he goes on and shows a bunch of kills with his new spec, his Bloodletter build. That is quite scary. And does a bunch of 1vx, and it's always nicely edited. It does have a bunch of other things, attribute, many other highlights from the year. So it's definitely a good watch, but I think just playing a 30-minute video would kind of be cheating, Shozen, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
We can't do that. We can recommend it 100 times.
Play it once, not so much.
No. If it's a 5-minute music video, I will play it.
Sure.
If it's a 35-second clap video, I will play it. And Bogle, there's another video we're going to have to show later and play a little bit of music in the background. It's shorter. We're not going to watch the whole thing either. Bogle,
Yeah.
I think we should probably give a shout out here while we're talking about Cocos Milch, or Cocos Milch. I don't know what the word for
Cocos
milk.
milk. Yeah. Cocoa
Cocos
is
milch.
coconut. Yeah. And
Okay, yeah.
milk is milk. Yeah.
Interview by.
Deadly wipe. What the nice.
You got me. All right.
Nice.
You broke me.
Nice.
It's good. But the creators program, we need to give it a good plug. We have the Albion Online creators program that started recently with the addition of our new community manager, Shadowbrick. And he has done a fantastic job finding ways to benefit the Albion Online streaming and content creating community here with a number of benefits. And we're seeing more and more of those come up throughout the next few months. So keep your eyes out for things like Twitch drops and other amazing things that I'm not quite allowed to talk about yet.
Oh, so you do know more things. I mean, some of this is, everybody can apply to the creators program, but some of the rewards, like for example, in that Cocos Milk video, we had 5 keys hidden in it that were eligible or redeemable for, I think, 7 days premium. So a lot of these codes have been going around lately, and that's all part of the creators program that sort of sponsors and helps out, YouTube and Twitch creators mostly. So that's good for you guys, because if you look around, there is stuff, free stuff to grab if you're quick enough or if you can find it.
Yeah, there's a lot of giveaways being done here on Albion right now between premium, gold codes, free skins. I would even suggest following a lot of our creators on Twitter, because a lot of them are doing their giveaways through Twitter. I know Nazori, for example, just gave out a bunch of stuff on Twitter the other day. So it's good to follow the Albion Online creators through all their mediums, because you will get free stuff. Speaking of free stuff, Bogle, I believe it's time for a raffle.
Da-da-da-dum. Raffle.
All right, we have 2 winners, Ballia32 and Captain Crunch 502. Congratulations, Whisper Me to claim your prizes. Bogle, what else do we have today?
More raffles. No, later. The Stay Open exclamation mark raffle in Twitch chat. We'll have a few more chances to draw these. We do have today on the show more videos, Reddit, and more fan art chosen. Which one do you want to do first?
I think we've done a couple of videos. Let's move on to something from Reddit. Pick something from Reddit to amuse me, Bogle.
To amuse me? Are you amused by memes, Shozen?
I'm always immune to my memes.
I'm immune to memes too, Shozen. Yes.
I'm immune to memes now at this point.
What is this? Somebody doesn't like no loot from ganking? Oh, I get it. Because he gets ganked, right?
Yeah.
And then the inventory is full, but the circle there, it can't drop.
Yeah, so this guy sees somebody walking across the lands of Albion, totally slowed down, unable to move, just going super slows, and they kill the guy. And all of his stuff is non-drop, so he didn't lose nothing. He just was like, "Thanks, man. You're making my day a little bit slower. I'm gonna have to go buy some more T5 gear, but thanks. Good on you. I hope you enjoyed the kill."
That stuff. I think there's this very special breed of people who just keep everything in an inventory.
Yeah,
and that's always weird.
Well, one thing is, Bogle, if you say, I don't keep everything in my inventory, I actually put it in my bank vault. But a lot of this you can't even put on your island. Like if you share your island with another one of your characters, you can't start putting stuff into the island. So you have to use your personal chest.
Right.
And then if you want to put stuff in your personal chest, it fills up very quickly. So you're going to have to buy a second tab. Maybe this guy just didn't want to buy a second tab because he didn't have the silver, because he hasn't opened up his bags yet. because he was waiting for a use all button, and he hadn't seen that the use all button is in the game now. There's a use all button. Skip this part, guy. Just open your bags, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I still think that's funny. Sometimes you, or sad, I guess. Sometimes when you just are fresh off the tutorial island, then sometimes you see these guys that are like, "Hey, I don't know where to put things. I have everything I need for the next 3 weeks of my Albion life in my inventory." And sometimes these guys venture into the red zone, and then it's usually, disaster brewing. And a lot of people say, "Oh, that's how the game works." And then just log out. Has that ever happened to you where you're like, oh, this is how the game works?
Yeah. Oh, I've had a how this is how the game works moment a number of times. Usually for me, it's like when I do something really stupid while zoning. Like
let's run away and then
Yeah.
actually left click on somebody and like, oh no, I attacked him now.
Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst. More like going through one zone and being like, oh, I don't want to be here, and then going back through too early, or going into a dungeon and being like, oh, I shouldn't have been in here, and then trying to go out and then being followed. That kind of thing. Going into the roads and seeing one arch and going, oh, I can run by that one guy. And then realizing that it's arch and that there's 15 more of them down the road. You realize there are certain things about the game that you learn over time. And yeah, that's one of
them. So say you made this mistake and then you decided to, get it all back, Shozen. And then you're naked, you're out of gear. And you need some inspiration. I think we do have something.
Oh, this video?
Yeah.
Oh, so this was really cute. This is a Crossbowmans Journey by Butterscotch, and the player starts with nothing on. They have spec. It's somebody who's played before. Clearly has played before. They have all the spec in the world.
Yep.
But they ain't got nothing on. Are you playing like a little lo-fi in the background, Bogul? So it's not just silence.
I can.
Yeah. Because we can't play the music that they've chosen here. Look, they're getting some crap. None of this is any good. Completely naked, by the way. What's that? Bogul, it's a weapon. They're all set now. They've got a weapon. Got more weapons.
Gear.
They've got a book. That book isn't going to help them any. They got boots now. They got boots. And this is just from breaking those little bags in the world, Bogul. I'm sure this took a freaking shit long time, though, to find the right stuff. Too long.
Wait. Let me wait. We are at 40 seconds. Let me go to the very beginning. 10:42 is when the video starts, UTC, and 12:32
is when they finally have all their gear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is also a progression. If you look at the time in the video, we're really early in this video. They go much further. And like you can skip ahead. Like skip ahead till you see how far they get.
Are they banking at any point in time?
No, because I've seen the end of the video. I'm not going to ruin anything.
No. Shozen, really? No. 1.4 mil in the inventory. Roads of Avalon gathering. I mean, now that he...
at this point, you're like, guy, hurry up and go
bank.
Put your stuff in the bank, right?
Legendary chest as well. Oh no! I need to. You're telling me what now? No, he dies. Oh no! After 1947, that's the timestamp on the video. After doing this for about 9 hours, you finally go like, yeah. Let's see how long I can survive.
Now I'm gonna be honest, Bogul. I think there's some fancy editing in that video.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, where
but the concept.
If you notice the inventory, it changes a couple of times. This might be one or two different adventures, but the concept I like. It reminds me of stuff that like you'd see Black Boa do or something. So I really like this. And for all those players who spend 9, 10 hours hanging out in town begging for shit, I want to show them this because, oh my God, you can do so much better just playing the game. Just play the game. Stop dancing in town. Stop begging for silver. Stop poking me over and over again. Get out and do something. Anything. Maybe it's just
Then
the
it's not
parent in
free,
me, Bogle,
Shozen.
that is so irritated by laziness. Like, take out the damn garbage.
Shozen, but then it's not free.
Yes.
Like if I have to do something for it, then it's not free, and then it's not how I want to play the game. Okay, I made the conscious decision that today I'm just going to be, a sack and hang out in the city and
Yeah, but you
get
still
money.
have to type, even if it's up arrow enter, up arrow
Yeah.
enter trade. Like that
Yeah.
takes time, and you're
Well,
not getting that
it's
much.
about 70% less whole body movement.
All right. I'm saying this is a great way to make silver and
Yes.
just play the game.
True.
And that it's showing that there is no bottom. Like you can go completely naked out into the world and get the content and get stuff.
What, Chosen?
get
If
you
you have
going.
no spec.
Okay, if you have no spec, that's harder.
I guess you do the same
There's
thing.
not
in
much I
tier
can do for
3
like.
zones, and
Yeah, if you
then
do that, then just
get
take
tier
it back and
4.
sell it. Like, right?
Right.
Like if you can do this naked,
Mm.
you can bring it back naked, sell it on the marketplace,
Naked,
buy the gear you need.
geared.
Yeah,
Yeah, easy.
like much easier than begging. And I see so many of them in town right now.
Do you think there's like a hidden society, Chosen? The Beggars and Rats Society? Like the scum of Albion that are the despised like class or something?
Well, I do know that a lot of the rats have started hanging out together, Bogle. Like you can't just pinpoint TikTok anymore as the Rat Guild. There's just a lot of them out there, and we've been seeing while we're watching the war reports, for example, like full groups of rats just following behind Dior and PoE, trying to pick up all the loot that they're gonna make when they fight people.
What is that called? It's a symbiotic relationship, right?
Yeah,
No, parasitic relationship.
parasitic. Yeah.
I mean, some big clouds of fish draw birds, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
sharks have those little sucker fish, the remores,
yeah,
that
yeah.
stick to them and just eat the scraps that fall out of their mouth.
It's funny how nature.
That's what
repeats
Albion
itself.
rats are. Like they just eat the scraps that fall out of the mouth of the shark.
Shout out to these two guys here, Vitumon and Bonsko, I think, who are doing some weird flaming parade on.
God.
What kind of build is this? Because you don't get a lot of damage when you use the staff, right?
No. It
So
slows
do more
and
damage?
prevents healing. So if you use something that else that hurts, like
Percent of max health. True damage. Does that?
so if you're
that's the staff
slowing them,
contract?
yeah. No,
I don't know. Seems funny.
your resistances go up, but you can't be healed. So it's interesting. Interesting.
Anyway,
All right.
what are we doing?
We have some fan art.
Yes, fan art.
This is okay. I'm going to apologize to the viewers today, and before I apologize, I'm going to bribe them with gold. Thank you guys for watching. Today is a slow news day. I am perusing Reddit for things you guys have probably already seen and then making fun of it because we have a patch coming up. We have a dev talk coming out, but right now it's a little quiet. So
I think we have plenty of content. If you hadn't said that, Chosen, nobody would have noticed.
nobody would have noticed.
That's how show business
I'm
goes,
so
right?
good at finding content.
Look at this fan art. For my GM Domnet, thank you for making Tidal my new home by Mishireen. Is that really how Domnet looks with that stash?
I don't know, but I really wish you had read the title that I had put up here. It was Domnet, a bust.
Yeah, that's correct. That's
There's like
that's
double
correct.
meaning. Yeah.
That's technical. That's yeah. I know where you're going, but I'm not going there. Like
Yeah, I'm just saying that the players of Albion would get a kick out of it.
players of. Tell me, chat. Tell me if that stash is real on Dominant.
Is that what Domnet really looks like? If so, he's got a fantastic mustache.
Yeah, I gotta keep it classy as a leader, right, of an alliance.
We should also, I guess, since we just showed a image of Domnet, we should mention the last time Domnet was involved in some Albion news. Recently, we did an interview. I'm sorry. Recently, Magic Mark did an interview with Magic Mark that we aired here on Albion TV because I was there and I edited it. But after the interview, Magic Mark and Domnet went to the trash talk chamber because apparently Magic Mark said some things that offended Domnet during his interview with himself. And they went there for another 2 hours and yelled at each other while 200 plus people watched them just yelling at each other. So if you want to know what started that, you should check out our VODs and look for the Magic Mark interviews Magic Mark interview.
I think it's called the Magic Mark interview GM of Phoenix.
Oh, well,
I think that's what it's called, but I'll give you the
that's just because it's the naming convention we use. We all know what it was.
stand-up comedy. Pro tip, by the way, watch the Twitch VOD because it does have the chat.
Yeah, definitely watch the Twitch VOD. The chat is the show there. It is peak Albion. Like,
for good or for
Albion
worse.
at its most Albion.
For good or for worse. Yeah. Let's look at more fan Shozen. What else do we have here? Is this a healer? No, this is a healer. Oh look, it's comics again. Chibi. Aw.
It's Sky Chibi, yeah.
Nice.
Sky Chibi is a new artist in the Artist of Albion Discord. They made a couple of different images of the same one with a bit different background. If you want to show the other one as well.
Yeah. I don't know.
There you go. I like that one. The starry one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slightly different shading. I do enjoy it when we get to show off new artists in the Artist of Albion. And in honor of our newest Artist of Albion, I'm going to pull another raffle.
Cha-ching.
Here you go, Nispa. Welcome back to the winner's circle.
Oh, did you really pull out a B meme shows?
Yeah, I did.
Because we
I
didn't
did.
have them so long.
I didn't. Yeah, it's been a while, and I just wanted to remind people that Rusty Pug is still out there. He is still posting those bee memes every day for your bee enjoyment. This is a good one though. This one's pretty. It's one of those purple bees.
For those of you who don't know, Rusty Pug has been requesting bee mounts since the beginning of time of Albion, and
Quite a while.
he always posts pictures of bees together with it. I don't know if Bumblebee counts.
I think this is a video. Can't you hit the play button on this one?
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I still I still kind of want to see a bee skin for the
beetle.
bug, for the beetle, yeah. One day we'll get Battlemount skins. One day I'll also get a mammoth skin chosen.
What would you want for a mammoth skin though?
Something that looks like a big trader's thing, like a card, but then also more epic. Something huge, like it needs to be even bigger than the mammoth itself, and then have like 50 boxes around or something.
A brontosaurus would be interesting.
I don't like dinosaurs.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
No.
Bogle doesn't like dinosaurs. He says they're not real. Earth is only 4,000 years old.
Shozen.
Flat too.
This game is magic, but I don't know if dinosaurs would fit. Maybe like a huge lizard.
Ooh.
Like
what else that is generally small
Yes.
that if made really
Hippo.
big would be great.
Hippo.
A hippo. You're saying a hippo is small, but
Like
I
really
get it.
tiny feet, but super fat. And then
Oh
because
my
it's so heavy,
god.
it can carry so much.
Hippo. Okay.
I like imagine
Mm.
riding on a hippo instead of a
Battle
mammoth.
hippo. Okay.
Wow.
A
Yes.
keeper. Yeah, I
I'm
was
sold.
thinking the keeper giant would be interesting too, but then people would want Earth Mother, and then like it would just like I don't want to do that. I don't want giving
No.
people more access to Earth Mother than they already have. I think that it's best in limited doses. Certain things nobody wants to no death by snoo. Okay? Okay. I think we have more, Bogle.
We do?
Yeah, the Reddit discussion. Gathering capes done dirty. We kind of missed this one.
I mean, Night Sky went to Reddit and complained, and I think we wanted to pick it up as a mini talking point.
Mhm.
It sort of starts out as a rant, but it's about gathering capes. And I think he's not happy with how they're not used.
Used.
Because they basically just give carry weight, and all the others capes that have skills on them are essentially
Way better. Yeah.
And his suggestion is to turn them into backpacks, which is an interesting suggestion I hadn't really thought about much before. But I think I've seen it, but it's an interesting idea.
See, I think the gathering capes can work, but not unless they're drastically adjusted. Now, as backpacks, that'd be an interesting choice, but then you once again run into the same situation that you have with the cape, is that it generally is used for one thing. And as Albion has evolved, what we've seen is that gatherers no longer gather leather or stone.
Really?
They gather a lot at once. They go out
If you have the skill chosen, yes.
right, but the game has been out for quite a while, Bogle.
Yeah, but the average dude chosen.
But the guy who's gonna spend his time trying to wear all gathering gear is not going to be someone who only can gather one thing at this point. Like the people who can, like, you're limiting yourself so much if you say I'm going to only do one
Chosen.
activity, whether you say I'm
Time.
just going to do
Time. Like on the one hand, I know what you're saying. You're saying you're diversifying when you go out, right? But I'm saying that you're sort of in terms of gathering unlocks, that you're still sort of limited to one type of resource.
I just don't think that's the way that it happens anymore. I do not think people are limited to one resource anymore. When the game was a year old, yes, there were people who were limited to one resource. Now there are still some people who are limited to one resource because they haven't been gathering for 2 or 3 or 4 or 4.5 going on 5 years. There are some people who haven't gotten there yet. But when you're looking at a tool that is aimed specifically at gatherers, for gatherers to improve their gathering, you're looking at the top gathering people. And just like gathering gear, I'm going to bring this up, Stormlord, the gathering backpacks, the gathering gear have fallen so far behind the way that gatherers play that it's niched itself right out. When people gather now who are gatherers, there's very few dedicated to only gathering, even fewer that are dedicated to singular gathering, which is what you would need to make the best use out of either the gathering gear or the gathering backpack. Now, what most people do when they gather, and this is really popular in the current world of Albion because of the way that it's structured, is you do some PvE/PvP and gather along the way while you're out in the living world environment. It's very hard to pick a singular thing and make good profit on it because you have to skip so much other content that's readily available for you. I love the idea of finding some way to remove gathering gear completely, but keep the skills of gathering gear and either putting it onto each individual tool so that you want to hold more tools in your backpack, in your inventory, and then become more valuable as a kill target while you can still engage in PvE and PvP because you still have gear, like skills on your gear, or find some way to do that with the backpacks themselves and give you multiple options. So you want to mix a backpack and a tool together so that you have some kind of combination that lets you engage in the activities you're going in. Because right now I really do feel that gathering gear is so far behind the meta of gathering that it's near useless. And when you see people using gathering gear, I'm going to use like mining boots, for example, Bogle. It's not used in gathering of ore. It's used in dual
Mm.
exploits.
Mm.
When you look at bear trap, it's not used to trap bears while leatherworking. It's used to trap noobs while fishing.
I have to disagree to a certain degree. I think there's still a big percentage of people who log into the game and they say, "Listen, I want to gather today," and they go out and about and look for that one sort of resource. And then, especially if you're interested in progressing one certain thing, you're right though that it's probably not the most efficient use of your time. And especially if you want to, consider making profit as well. I've resorted to the fact that I carry all tools, but no gathering gear, except for miner boots, I suppose, right? And sometimes I do carry the chest of whatever gathering I'm trying to progress because it does have the ambush, which makes me invisible. So in that sense, it's an escape build, and I some helmets also have useful skills for escaping. So there is a certain overlap, but backpacks, it's just outclassed by Fort Sterling or Martlock capes, definitely.
Yeah. And I think I think the gear for gathering needs to be looked at again, and they need to look at what is actually going on with the player base, what the players who are gathering actually need, and what would make them feel more effective while they're gathering. Because right now I just feel like it's old and it doesn't function. And where other items in the game, when the game passed their skills by, they were readjusted to become effective again. But gathering gear has been left in the same state that it has been
I think the
the
problem
entire
with
time.
a lot of the gathering gear is that it not only does have their own items, but it also does have a whole Destiny crafting tree associated with it, which makes reworks and the potential refunding you have to do of these a whole different nightmare. Because it's if you just want to adjust it or remove it, then you also are like if you're just talking removal, then you're talking about people who have spec'd up stuff in there, right? In terms of crafting the thing. And if you're changing it, then it's probably a better path, but probably still difficult.
I mean, when things have been removed before where people had spec in it, they've lost that. It happens. When something's not working, if it's just not working, saying that people have spent time building up the spec on something that they don't use,
I don't think
is
that's popular at all,
I
Shozen. And I think you're if you're really of that, then it
I
can be
think that
good for the
people
game. It
would
can be good for
hold on.
everything,
Like
but it's just
if
going to
you're
be
replacing it
unpopular.
with something that would be used, people would rather see something used than something that they have spec in that nobody uses.
I think you'd have to
Like
refund parts of it at least.
refund. Oh my gosh. Bogle, this is an area where you and I disagree, and I think we should move on because I think that the idea of refunding players every time
No, no, no,
balance
not
changes
money,
are
not money.
made,
I'm saying
no,
like
refunding anything like points or anything like that, just saying that the reason we're not going to change something to make it better is because you'd have to refund this to the players in order to make it fair. This is Albion. Life isn't fair. If something's just not working and it's broken,
yeah,
I'd absolutely love to see it
I
changed
agree. I agree.
rather than held there because the belief that it might scare some people or hurt some people who've invested in it. those people are the minority in this case.
I disagree. Like I think there's a certain expectation at a minimum level that the progress you make is being kept, and if you're approaching this from, you know, nothing you do is being there long term, then I think you're just wrong. And I don't think we have time to argue this out right now because we have to get ready for the next one. But I think there has to be some sort of middle ground. And my point was simply that gathering gear is in a tricky spot because it is obviously a little bit old. At the same time, it does touch more systems than gear does, and so it makes it extra hard, I guess.
Yeah, no, I agree that it's extra hard to do it ideally. Like, and that's the thing is, I don't think I think when you're trying to make a living game, that if you hold yourself to making everybody happy all the time and keeping everybody happy because you don't want to change things because there are people who still use the dead content, like that gets you into trouble. Like, you know, that makes me think, okay, maybe that's why we still have an arena that's never been touched in 4 years and has never progressed since the arena championship in 2017. Yeah, there are people who still play arenas. Arena could be a lot better. Holding on to that old gameplay because there are still people who play it instead of fixing it and making it something that a larger audience would use. I never liked the idea of, well, we're not going to change it because we could really upset like 5 people.
Though. Like you can make it better and still acknowledge time spent, which is the ultimate currency. I feel like.
But I understand that, but I just don't see like the design of gathering gear as a exclusive way. Like it's one
I
set.
agree. I agree.
Like
gathering gear needs to go. Gathering gear needs
it's
to go.
so
but people
poorly made. But not poorly made. It's just it's poorly balanced for today's Albion.
Shozen. What I'm saying is that I agree on the premise that it needs to change the balance of it, and potentially removing it is an option. My issue is with time spent in certain areas, and I understand that it's not always possible and blah blah blah, but I don't know.
Well, before we do go out, there's one more thing I would like to hit.
Sure.
This is by Levy. It's a video, a complete guide on Might and Favor and the Conqueror's Challenge in Albion Online.
Yes, that is important.
Yes, and it's a great video. I actually watched this. I feel like I know more about Might and Favor, but it's, again, too long for us to show on the air.
31 minutes.
But it's incredibly well edited, very informative, and like all of Levy's content, it's just so well done.
Another Albion creator. Well deserved.
Yeah. So I'm dropping a link to that in chat. I do suggest you guys watch that. If you have any questions at all about Might and Favor, they're in there and they're answered. He's fantastic. One of my favorite content creators in Albion Online at the moment. But that is it for us here on the Daily Show. We will be back in about 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, with the great Tazik as we will be going over some 5v5 Crystal League content in just a moment.